went through, it was not an easy task, because why he had to have so many of those enemies, because when they discover, like today, I am happy with the gospel of last Sunday, that John and James were struggling to sit at Jesus' side. It's seeking of power. It's that idea of seeking of power, spiritual power. It is happening today. Physical power, because the leaders are instead trying to trample upon the weak. Jesus was preaching against that. They wanted to sit at the high places and always treat the weak, whereas Jesus instead came that when people were made strong, it is a responsibility for them to take care of the weak, not instead to trample on the weak. So it's like bringing birth. We are bringing birth to each other on daily basis, okay, depending on any of our situations. So it is alarming mostly today. It's just a sign that what Jesus went through. Do you understand what to mean to be embezzled, to be living a particular life, and you are embezzling, making some another people to be dying and they are feeling, which you have no feelings for those people living. If somebody comes to preach against that, it becomes an enemy to you. It is happening even today in your world, and we discover it. You have not done anything. Just because you speak the truth, you are trying to, instead to release people from captivities, the wicked of the world, instead want those people to remain there. Why do you want them to be liberated? Why do you want them to rise up in that particular manner? Why do you want this family to be delivered? We are living in a society that you think that it's only a particular family that needs to be like this, a particular family that needs to be like this. Why do you need to help? Instead, you are trying to bring life, but the devil, because he's always there to destroy, to kill and to steal, he is always angry because he doesn't want that person to come back to life. You are trying to give life to person, but the devil does not want it. It is very normal, and it's the jealousy, the envy of today is everywhere. Okay. And standing in the point of speaking the truth or preaching the truth, he has a price like John the Baptist. He was killed by preaching the truth or prophesying the Messiah, the last prophet.
That's how some of us, we go through the cross in a different place of work where you struggle to be upright, and you have challenges because somebody will tell you, why must you do things the way things are not been, we have not been doing that in this place.
That is it.
Why are you coming with something new? Who do you think you are?
Do
you think you are the only person that's going to correct this? Do you think it's going to start only in your regime and start having difficulties? That is our own cross.
That's our own cross. And let me finish about 2 minutes. It's just to indicate to you that some people go as far as trying to divert back themselves because they think that they want to guarantee their job. Stand out to live a negative life because they want to guarantee job. It means you are normally selling out a conscience, knowing fully well that what you are being asked to do, it is not good. But you go as far as doing that. We don't blame them because it's a risk of following God. But the truth is also a risk because you discover because you don't know. But when you reason in the supernatural level that this is part of the cross, it's for me to do this, I prefer to lose the job because Jesus do not even make us to rely ourselves on material things. That without even material things, I can still make it. However, it's not material things that brings you to God, but it is your faith.
There are always alternatives.
That is it.
Okay, if you are a Christian, you should know that there are lots of worldly opportunities. There are a lot of worldly opportunities that you are going to miss. That is the cost of being a Christian. That is the cross you are going to carry. You're going to carry the cross in that when others are going to nightclubs, enjoying, you are not going. That is the cross you are carrying. When others are doing things which are illegal, you are not doing. You seem isolated. That is the cost of Christianity. There are a lot of worldly opportunities a Christian will miss if you are a true Christian. Madam Apostle, let me come to you. Your reflection to what Rev.Fr. Josh said.
Yes, Rev.Fr. Dr. Josh was talking about the center, that when you are in the center, you always have those people who have that negativity about what you are doing. And you just have to continue, provided you know that what you are doing is the right thing. So you just, because you have to know that that is your cross. And at times it is not generally that after some time of carrying the cross must be taken away. At times you have that cross till death. Even Jesus had to go through that. That is why if we go to the text of Hebrews chapter 5 verses 7 to 9, it is going to tell you that Jesus Christ, he passed through suffering. The Father heard him. He talked to the Father. The Father heard him that he is undergoing all what he is undergoing. But the Father did not remove that suffering from him. So he had to continue in that suffering until he had to redeem the world through the cross. So it was not like the Father could not remove it or the Father did not hear. So because most often we fall victims. When we pray for some time, then we start saying now that since God has not answered the prayer, maybe this thing I do so will be correcting. So you have now to go down to the other side, because according to you, that perseverance of prayer, you have come to the end of it. So then now you realize now that you fall now a victim of living now the cross that you were carrying. So I think all it is just like what we talk about the passion. Passion is something that you really have, you always want that thing should be there. Just like when we talk about the passion of Christ, Jesus Christ went through all the suffering, but he did not have a grudge in him. That is why that is why it's being considered as a passion. But most often, how often do we see our problems like passion? When we see it, we start complaining. So Jesus Christ never complained. So we like Christians, we have to respect that call of Christ, which tells us to carry our crosses joyfully and with passion. So when you carry it with passion, you realize that, you understand that what I am doing, it is the right thing, and I have talked to the Father. If the Father allows it, then the Father has a reason of allowing this particular cross to continue.
Thank you very much. We'll take on a break. When we come back, we are going to move to our biblical text for the day. And we probably have to listen again to Rev.Fr. John Jingo. When we come back from this break, where we will have the melody from the Rev.Fr. choir. Rev.Fr. choir. And it's very well, Tata. Welcome back from that break, and that's the choir from the Catholic Rev.Fr. ministry. Let me move straight away to Madame Bossy, Mr. Ronan. If you have your text, open to 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 24 to 25. Madame Bossy, I want you to take us to Matthew chapter 16, verses 24 to 28. Matthew 16, 24 to 28, in terms of understanding the cross. Let's start with 1 Peter.
1 Peter
Chapter 2, verse 24 to 25.
chapter 2, verse 24 to 25. He himself bore our sin in his body on the tree, that we might die to sin and live to righteousness. By his wounds you have been healed. For you were straying like sheep, but have now returned to the shepherd and guardians of the soul of your soul.
Okay. Madame Bossy, I want you to move Matthew.
Matthew chapter 16 verses 24 to 28. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Whoever wishes to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. What profit would there be for one to gain the whole world and forfeit his life? Or what can one give in exchange for his life? For the Son of Man will come with his angels in his Father's glory, and then he will repay everyone according to his conduct. Amen, I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom.
Okay, Mr. Roland, you listen to that?
Yeah,
Maybe you should take it line by line again so you can tell our viewers what it means.
Then Jesus said to his disciples, whoever wishes to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross and follow me.
And oh yes, deny himself. Deny himself means things that they are making us not to worship God well. Deny himself means power. Deny himself means property. Deny himself means things that will make you the pleasure of the world. That's the real meaning of denying himself. And another deny himself means that you have to cross some certain things that, humanly speaking, you cannot cross. Denying yourself means you should focus on Christ. Focus on Christ, deny yourself. Let me give you for example. There are some certain things that some of us will fail without knowing. That's a reminder that God, Jesus Christ, always reminds us. When he called Peter to walk on the water to come and meet him, Peter started walking. Why was Peter walking? Because he was focusing to Christ. That do what I tell you. He has never failed. When he focused on Christ, he was moving. When at the point of the road, he discovered, started asking himself, wow, is this me doing it? He suddenly forgot that he was God. Now when he lost consciousness on God, he started sinking. It is happening on a daily basis, on our spiritual life. On a daily basis, you might be gifted, maybe to pray or to be healing somebody about this. Now when it starts to happen, you forget about that. It is all God's doing. It is not mine. Now, if you're not careful, society and yourself, the more they keep giving praises to you rather than giving them to God, you as a human, as we always like power, we always like to be recognized in the society, that people should know, understand that I am the one that I'm doing it. Now you take God's own glory into your own. You start to be performing things in a different way. Now you are already derailing yourself in God's own eyes. Now you want people not to be seeing you. It has become business in the worldwide today. People one day you should show, man of God heal me, man of God heal me. No, it's not the man of God, it is God. God is normally using him to extend to people. But if you are not careful, you will take God's own glory. You will take it as if you are the one doing it. So that's the focus of God's. If Jesus Christ says you should deny yourself, carry your cross, and follow me, which means you have to abandon those things that are making you not to see God. When you are abandoning them, it does not end there. Carry your cross. What is the cross? The challenges of abandoning those things. That is the cross. So we are speaking in the supernatural level of life, leaving the natural level right to the supernatural level. On getting there, be ready to face crosses, but know that when you happen to be calling a supernatural means nothing can stop you,
and they will be
when you are living in that level.
And after every cross,
every cross is a show.
Okay,
that is resurrection.
So those of you watching us online, you can leave a comment. What do you think about today's edition of our program? God sent Jesus to come and die for our sins. Did God send Jesus to come and die for our sins? A good afternoon to you, Lord Ajika. A happy birthday Sunday to you, Quentin Lewo. Happy birthday Sunday to you. Of course, Madame Ginya. A happy birthday Sunday to all those of you who are just joining us online. Madame Eposi, I think let's go to a video from Rev.Fr George before coming back to that scripture. Let's move now to another video from Rev.Fr George where we are talking about the passion, where he explained the passion of Christ, the passion of the cross. Let's go back to Father George.
Was not what Jesus planned for. The dying on the cross was not what the Father planned for.
The Father sent His Son to reconcile us back to the Father, to Him. He did not say that He should die on the cross. He should not say that He should be killed. He could have done that without dying. He could have done that without dying. He could have done that without dying. But the nature of the world gave Him the cross. That's what I'm saying. When you do a good thing, my dear Christian, when you are a good person, goodness attracts and goodness destroys. It was the world seeing that good man. There was one part of the world that said, we must eliminate him. It was not the Father that put that in the house to eliminate Jesus Christ. It was the wickedness of the world that planned to eliminate him. When God was celebrating him, what was the what? Planning to eliminate him. And so, what they gave him? They gave him the cross as a portion. We kill him for the cross. He was not the Father. He was not the Father. He was not Jesus. The question now said, why did Jesus embrace it? Because Jesus decided he had no choice. He had no choice. He had no choice because he had to go to the Passover. That was the covenant meal. He had no choice. Should he just go to the Passover? No. So by going to the Passover, by committing himself to keep the Father's will, the world responded by negatively by killing him on the cross. And then Jesus transformed that for our salvation. Amen? So, our Father is not a wicked Father. God is not a wicked God. He did not send His Son to be killed. He sent His Son so that through Him we bless. Through Him we bless. For the final covenant, and that's why Catholics or post-Catholics, we talk about the God of the covenant, and that's what we talk about. God, He sent His Son because God had created us as part of the covenant, and we failed Him, then He said, I will send my Son to be the new and everlasting covenant. And that Son brought a new way of living. We are told that new way of living, some receive it with joy, others receive it with. Now this is Cameroon, there are no possessions. Why? You know why? There are found possessions. Just imagine that you want to position now, you lose, position, what happened? Don't go now, before you start walking to governor's office. What happened? What happened? Yes. Every possession has some who will support it and some who will. Authorities sometimes don't like possessions because it challenges them. People who are not grateful don't like possessions because it tells about something you don't like. People don't like love to appreciate others, don't like possessions. Because it tells them that if I have to say, no, that guy is good, then I have to change, and I want to change. There are people who like to hate. There are people who are envious, who are jealous by nature. And they are there in the world. We live in a world that is broken. We live in a world that is envious. So we must be aware of that reality today. That's why the church calls us this reality, which happened to Jesus Christ. The fact that you are innocent, doesn't mean that somebody cannot kill you. The fact that you are innocent doesn't mean that somebody cannot hate you. Somebody cannot be jealous of you and plan to kill you. And today we are seeing one who was innocent, and the world planned to kill him, and they did it. They did it very well. Herod plans to eliminate all the firstborn children because they wanted to eliminate Jesus. That is the nature of life. That's the nature of Christianity. Or when God wants to bring us to the Father, the enemy is there to take us away from the Father. That is the nature of every Christian must understand today. When you hold up palm and you're celebrating a God, know that there's a passion coming. There's a passion. That's why the church puts the passion and the palm today. That why we celebrate that our God is good all the time, our God is good, not everybody says our God is good. I say our God is good. Yeah, wicked God. That's all I'm saying, wicked God. And why you're celebrating our God now, somebody will be out there and do something. This is our reality. This is the reality of our faith. So Christ, the cross was because Christ had a passion to do the Father's will. So therefore, when we talk about passion, we are not talking about what was done to Jesus. Passion is not that they beat Jesus, they killed him. No. Passion was that power within him that made him to do what he wanted to do because the Father had asked him to do it. Even when he took him going to die. That's not passion. Passion is not what they do to you. If somebody kills you, if you are ready to stand up for what you do, if you are ready to stand up for what you do, it means you have stood up for negativity. If you decide to do good, there are people who don't want to do good. So So when you stand up to do good, should you give up doing good because someone will kill you? Should you give up doing good? Some do it, some do it, some do it, some do it. There are women who give birth to their children. Excellent people give birth to a child. They told the child, some kill the child. They do good and abandon it. Some do not. Compassion and say, no matter how the child is sick, I will take it. That's why somebody sang, see brother, I'm not going to forget you. For this suffer way you suffer. The suffering did not come because of others. The suffering comes because she is ready to take that child to the end out of passion for the child. It's not about the world, because the world will always want to kill that child. The world will want to destroy that child. The world will want to do something to that child. But the mother says, no, I will try to protect my child. When we are passionate about what we are doing, in that process of being passionate about doing what we want to do, how to do, there is an other force that can always destroy us. And that's the lesson of today.
Hello viewers, you're welcome back from what you just watched from Father George Jingwa, who is talking about the passion that God did not send Jesus Christ to come and die for our sins, but he sent his son to come and reconcile us with the Father. And because of man's wickedness, Christ had to be killed and crucified on the cross, as Madame Eposi had earlier highlighted, where she stated that the society in those days, people were being crucified, criminals were being crucified based on the societal norms when Christ existed. Now, because of the norms of the society, whoever commits a crime will be sent on the cross and will be killed on the cross. Now, the two thieves who were nailed on the cross with Christ, they were nailed on the cross because that was a tradition, and that because it was a tradition, the only way that they could crucify, they could kill Christ was just to use that tradition, which means that Jesus, God did not send Jesus to come and die on that cross, but rather man's activities, looking at the way things operate within our lives, within the society, Christ had no choice than to embrace the cross. And the cross, according to what Mr. Roland and other members of the panel had articulated a year earlier, a while ago, that the cross in our life is the challenges that we have, the difficulties we encounter, the problems we have in our society. That is a cross. If you are in a particular place where you are working so hard and you don't have money to foot your bills, but yet you are a Christian, yet you praise God, yet you worship God, the challenges that you face is a cross that you have to carry, according to what is meant by understanding the gift of the passion of the cross. That when you have challenges, any challenges that you have in your life is the cross, is your own cross that you are carrying. I want to say happy Baraka Sunday to all those of you who are watching us online on Facebook, Ambo Prince, Laura, and Jika 20 Lewo, and all those of you who are watching us, a happy Baraka Sunday to you too. The cross that we have, it is not the physical cross, but it is the challenges that we have. And Mr. Roland rightly put it that after every cross, there is resurrection. If you have difficulties in paying your rent, and yet you work hard, you have difficulties in mingling with the society, yet you worship God, all those difficulties, those are the challenges that you face at that particular time. But be rest assured that if you dwell in the secret place of the Most High, you will resurrect with success, you will resurrect with overcoming your challenges. That is what Mr. Roland, you want to add?
Yes, I want to add something from that, Jarvis. People should not get us wrong. You have to work hard. God has given you reasoning how you need to reason. We do not say it means suffering simply means it's a normal thing. Suffering simply means that it's good. When you are suffering, it means you are with God. No. Please, when challenges come on your way, you look at first. 80% is always on the human side. Where did I went wrong? It might be the cost, which I need to reposition myself. I might be in the wrong workplace, which I need to change. It is very clear that when you work, you need to be paid and you need to live well. We are saying when you observe this, you discover that it is not even all this problem that is not even your cause. Now you learn out, because it might simply even be a spiritual problem that you normally need deliverance before things can move on. So you have to verify and you examine yourself. All this is not normal. But when you are delivered, you understand that you are free. Humanly, you are reasoning and spiritually thinking. That's where you understand that this level, it is God that has allowed it to be handled in this particular manner.
Okay. Thank you. I'm coming back to you. Want to say happy birthday Sunday to you, Anang Getang and Derek and G. Derek G. Anang Getang, my Republican brother from a Republican standpoint. Happy birthday Sunday to you, Madame Possi.
Yes, Mr. Jarvis, I think talking about the cross, I want to come back to the text that we read, Matthew chapter 16, verses 24 to 28. It talks about those who want to keep their life, lose it, and those who lost their life for the sake of the kingdom or for the sake of Christ are going to have that life. If you look at it today, you realize that most of us, we don't want to carry our crosses. We want to preserve the life here on earth. You are working somewhere and you know precisely that taking a bribe is not good. But because you look at it, you say, Behaman go do. Yes, you want to keep your life here. So you are struggling to make sure that you have the best.
Yeah.
So you are keeping your life, and that is how you are going to lose the life that God gave you, that was so precious for God to give you that life. Because for God to create that relationship with man, and then for only man to come and is betraying the relationship. And if you look at it critically, you realize that it is man that is betraying the relationship of God. Because like what Father Mesue today highlighted in the Moliko St. Charles Luanga's parish, that he went back to the creation, that when God created fish, he talked to the water, and you realize that the relationship between the water and the fish is so intimate that if you remove fish from water, the fish is going to die. When he created the earth, he spoke to the earth with respect to the plants. And then you look at it that if you remove a plant from the earth, what happened? It withers. So when you look at it, when he created man, he talked to man. So he now was that relationship between him and man. So cut off from him, you are nowhere to be found. So then now, by the time we think that we can exist independent of God, we are losing the focus. And if you look at it now in this world, that is what is happening. Man think that we can operate without God, and that is why we don't care what we do to our neighbors, our brothers and sisters. We believe that because, as God says,
salvation is personal.
Yes, these are small gods. Our Bishop Emmanuel Bushu, will always respect any human being, and if you ask him why, he will tell you that these are small gods. So you have to pay attention. So if we think that independent of God we can exist, we are fooling ourselves. At the end of the day, we are nowhere to be found, just like a branch that is being cut off from the tree. And what happens? That branch automatically will wither. So we think that we can keep our life, we can preserve our life here on earth. So that is the mentality that we have had. You see the truth, you don't want to say it. Because if you say it now, you realize now that maybe your life is at stake, maybe
your job is at stake.
So then now you are not ready to carry a cross. So then now you try now to dodge away from the cross, and you think that you are preserving your life. That is why the Bible is telling us that you lose the life that you think that you are preserving it. So you see so many things they happen today that we don't even come to acknowledge it. Just like I will also go back, I always like to go to the gospel of the day. If I go back to what Father Mesue simply highlighted again, he talked about this massive exodus that occurred, and he asked people, okay, some people have even been displaced, they have forgotten about their houses, they have forgotten about everything that they have. That is just to tell you how human being we are. At the end of the day, all these things that we gather, it does not have anything to do. Because you look at it, when people were running, how were they running? They just picked few items and they left. Some people have
some people don't even have means even to pick even a pin.
That is it. They left like that because they were doing what? Preserving their lives.
Their lives.
So you see, so that is just to tell you that even if you accumulate which type of wealth, if that life is not there, you are wasting your time. So let us try to see what the Bible is saying. If we want to keep our life, then we know that we are going to lose that life that we think that we are preserving. So if we lose our life, that is why the Bible goes for that. What can you give in exchange for your life? What can you give in exchange? So you look at it, what